What's up, party people, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is the one that I've been referencing and talking about doing for such a long time now, and I'm finally doing it. If you're someone whose concealer tends to crease and settle into fine lines and looks crepey and dry and just kind of ages you, like it doesn't wear very well, even with powdering, this is for you. So I was on YouTube last year sometime and I came across a video from Reviva Does Makeup, whose channel will be linked below. She was talking about a concealer trick for women over 40. You know what? I'm gonna tell you, this is not just for people over 40. This is for everyone. Like if you wear concealer, this is how you need to be doing it. The under eye area is one that constantly sees movement. Whenever you're putting layers of makeup on an area that constantly see movement and motion, you're gonna get creasing, you're gonna get settling, you're gonna get just symptoms of movement. So I've been doing this concealer trick every single day. Anytime that I wear makeup, this is what I do. You'll get less to no creasing. Your under eye area will look so much more smooth and hydrated and radiant. And if you decide to go into powder, which you might not even need to, like I usually don't use powder anymore. Like I just do this technique and leave it at that. So you may find that you can skip that step altogether and that will help you even more. But if you decide to go into powder, it'll make your powder go on like absolute butter. Like it'll make it look so much more creamy. It'll sit better on the skin and it'll just look milky smooth. Like I'm telling you, this is a game changer. So I've got all my skincare on, my primer's been sitting here for a while. So everything that I've used today will be linked below in the description box. So check down there for a full makeup and skincare breakdown. So I'm basically gonna do a sped up version of my face routine. So this is the exact order of how I do things, which I think is very important. And it doesn't matter what products you're using. Like you don't have to use these specific products. I've done this technique with everything in my collection. Like it's foolproof. It doesn't matter what you're using with it. Like it always works. Not to mention, this isn't just for your concealer. Like this will actually make everything look better. Like in this region right here, especially your highlighter. This technique will make it look more glowy, more sheeny, like it'll sit better on the skin. So yeah, sit down with me, get all your supplies out. We're gonna do this together. And yeah, I'm gonna change the way that you apply concealer and also change the way that it wears on you. So let's do it. So face makeup is done up to the hack. Again, everything I've used today will be linked below in the description box. So what you're gonna need is a setting spray. Now, it does not matter what kind of setting spray you use. If you wanna use one that is more of like a hydrating setting spray, like a fixing spray, like MAC Fix Plus, you can use that. If you wanna use one more like Charlotte Tilbury, that's more about like just setting the makeup, you can use that. I personally prefer one that improves the wear of makeup and also hydrates and kind of melts the layers together. There's this one setting spray and it's super cheap. It's like $1.55. And I don't know what it is, but there's just something about this that works so well with this technique. And that is the AOA Studio A+ Primer Spray. So this is the one in the green bottle. Again, it's $1.55. It's at Shop Miss A. It'll be linked below. So what you're gonna do is spray some setting spray on the back of your hand, just enough to get it like kind of wet like that. Just gonna get my fingers in there. I get my two middle fingers there, get some on there and then tap off the excess on the back of my hand where I haven't sprayed it. And then go in and just pat under both eyes until the setting spray is dry, or at least tacky. So I'm just gonna pat, pat, pat. And I go all the way up to my lash line. And I also bring this out over my highlighter. And today I purposely used a highlighter that's more on the textured side. Like it's not a super finely milled shimmer. So without doing this, it kind of looks chalky, kind of textured. Like it just doesn't sit perfectly on the skin. You can go anywhere on your face with this. Like you don't have to just keep it under your eyes. Usually I'll take whatever's left over and just kind of tap over the areas where creasing can happen. Like if you got fine lines and product tends to settle, just tap it over wherever you want, wherever you have some wear issues. So here's what it looks like without any powder. So as you can see, my cheek products just look so much more glowy, so much more melded. It's one with my skin, and my under eye area is set. So again, most of the time I don't use an under eye setting powder unless I know I'm gonna be going outside. If I'm gonna be wearing sunglasses, if I'm gonna be sweating, then I'll wear powder, especially if I'm afraid that my mascara will transfer or smudge. Sometimes powder is necessary, but from a day-to-day basis, I don't use powder. It does what your powder is supposed to do. Like it sets it in place, it keeps it on longer. So now I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like whenever you put powder on top of this, which again, you pretty much need to do your your entire face routine up to powder. So I'm gonna take my Hard Candy Chilling Wonder Powder, which is seriously the best powder of all time. Whenever I do use powder, I like to apply it with a powder puff. I'll link some below. This is the Blendiful from Tati Beauty, but this isn't sold anymore. So I'll link the ones I found from Amazon that I use all the time. I'm just gonna get some powder on my puff, and then I like to kind of zhuzh it in and then flick it off. That's a trick I learned from Wayne Goss years ago. And then just set under the eyes or anywhere that you want. It's not gonna crease, it's not gonna settle, it's not gonna look dry. The setting spray pushes that hydration and that water into your skin, and then the powder just kind of locks it in place. I wish I could get close enough to show you guys the difference between doing this with the setting spray technique and not. It's one of those things that you have to see in person on yourself. Keep in mind, I didn't mention this earlier, I have oily skin, okay? I have oily, acne-prone skin, and I wear dewy, glowy, natural satin finish foundations. Like, I don't use matte foundations ever. If it works for me on my oily skin, I'm pretty confident that it'll work for you. So just to reiterate, spray some setting spray on the back of your hand, pick it up with 1 or 2 fingers, make sure you tap. Like, you don't want to drag, you don't want to rub. We're not doing that kind of thing. Like, that's just going to disrupt your base. So make sure you're lifting your fingers up and just kind of like stipple, like tap and stipple and pat. So once you guys try this, come back to the video, come back to the comment section and let us know how it worked for you. Do a little side by side. Like, on one side, do the setting spray technique. On the other side, do your normal way. Do it with and without powder and see which one works best for you. So if you guys like this video, then make sure you give it a big old thumbs up. And here's a couple more things for you to check out next. So just venture around the channel, make yourself at home. Subscribe if you're not already, and turn the notification bell on to always see my stuff. Once again, everything I use today will be linked below in the description box, and I will see you guys in the next one. Mwah.